What's going on, family and friends? Give me a few seconds here. Hmm, I'll give me a few seconds. Hmm, Give me a few seconds, y'all. We'll be able to. Hmm. Hello, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Thank you for your patience. I'm moving around several different places. I'm on a couple different platforms to include LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't want to take too much of your time this morning. My name is Donovan Hilton. Fun fact, I am a registered Lord of Glencoe in the country of Scotland, courtesy of Highland Titles. And I'm building and growing my brand. It's a great, the Lordship title is a great opportunity for me to stimulate conversation as I do my research into the UK and my history. If I have any, fact check me, please. Well, don't fact check me, but my idea of the history, um, as well as growing my brand and having a small plot of land through a nonprofit, as well as having a virtual office in the London area to grow my brand. Just fun facts will consider someone a lord in the United Kingdom if they're owning their land as a master of their profession or craft. So, fun fact, just looking to stimulate conversation. I'm your brand strategist and leadership coach, helping you position yourself as an authority, helping you position yourself as an authority and build lasting influence. And I want to take a few seconds or few minutes to discuss 3 tips to help you position yourself as an authority in any industry. 3 tips to help you position yourself as an authority in any industry. And I feel like this is a very important topic, real quick, because you don't want to spin your wheels and put so much effort in and not position, meaning putting yourself in place, getting yourself stationary. I'm just doing the best I can, but putting yourself in a grounded area. So we're talking about getting grounded. We're talking about having a foundation, which is your position, but then we're also talking about perception. So we want you to build, we want you to grow, we want you to scale, we want you to do all those things. But in that process, it's very important for you to be grounded with a strong foundation and to be perceived as someone that gets things done, or is a mover and shaker, also known as authority. And so that's what we'll be talking about today, how to help you ground yourself and build a foundation where you're perceived as someone of influence, in so many words. So the title of this particular video is 3 tips to help you position yourself as an authority in any industry. And I want to just focus on the words position or positioning, as well as authority. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If I'm missing anything, or if I need to break something down in more detail, put them in the comments, or send me a message, and I'll jump into that topic a little more in the future. Okay, so 3 tips real quick. Number one, you must. So one of the biggest things I talk about when it comes to building your brand or building awareness and helping to build your image for yourself, your product, or your service, you have to get people to know, like, and trust you or your product or your service. I'll rephrase that. They must know, like, and trust you and your product and or your service. And if you have your money working well enough for you, where you don't have to necessarily be a part of the operations and you have a great team getting the job done, then you don't really have to be a part of the brand. All you have to do is just make sure you don't get your name out there in a negative way that can come back and affect your brand, if that makes sense. So, but ultimately, a lot of folks, including myself, are startups or we want to build a personal brand as we're building our professional brand and building our company brand and things of that nature. So we must always keep in mind, know, like, and trust you. They have to get to know, like, and trust you. So that know, like, and trust deals with positioning, but also authority. And when people, in order for people to trust you, they must first get to know you. And then for them, after they get to know you, they have to like you. And then once they like you, you have to build that trust. And trust is really built over time. This is not a race. It's a marathon. And anytime you go into these type of activities or projects or goals, thinking it's a race, you're putting too much pressure on yourself unnecessarily. And I'm speaking through experience. I've been networking, building relationships for over 20 years, building influence and brands directly and indirectly for over 20 years. And I've realized that everything takes time. And the reason why it takes time is because when you are genuinely building authentic relationships, a lot of times you're going to be dealing with authentic people. And authentic people, they want to believe what you're saying, they want to agree with you, but a lot of times it's those authentic relationships that build trust are based on working relationships. They're based on working relationships, meaning I want to build trust with you. So that means we have to start working together. So if you or start engaging. And if you're engaging in something, it might as well be something that could be valuable or seen as valuable in the eyes of the person you're looking to work with or build a relationship with. Maybe a bad example, but let's say, for example, you want to build more community presence, you're a corporation or whatnot, and you say, hey, you go to this organization, nonprofit, and you're coming with the consultant mindset. You come in saying, hey, this is our corporate brand. We want to build our presence in the community and we want to work with your organization. We love the mission. We love the website. We want to get to know your organization. So you guys schedule time to meet in person or virtually to talk in more detail. That conversation happens and both sides are open to working together. The next question should be from you is, what does a working relationship look like to you? And what that's going to do is basically give you what is valuable in the eyes of the person or the group you're looking to work with, because they're going to mention things that they need or they want to focus on. And from there, you're going to say, okay, well, are these things that I can do? And that's where you're going to say, okay, well, I can do these things in a fun, energetic, professional way, not energetic, but professional way. Okay, this is what a working relationship will look like for you, but I'm going to go ahead and join. We're going to focus on, I know I can commit to these things. And then once you commit to those things, you want to commit. So, for example, you say, okay, well, we're going to come and pick up trash with you once a month. And we're going to schedule one visit for one of your uh, youth to come down and work with us for half a day so you can get experience. Let's just say that. And the way you build that trust is by you making sure that you are going to actually pick up that trash once a month and get to know people. Don't just go pick up the trash quietly in your area and you did pick up trash. But the thing is, you want to pick up trash, introduce yourself, build relationships, share stories, and all that comes from being sure of yourself. Because when we're building a professional brand, we have to also have the mindset of building a personal brand. And that really comes first. And your personal brand is going to help highlight and bring out your professional brand because you're sure of who you are. And so, in order to empower your professional brand, you must empower your personal brand. So, that's a whole other conversation. If you want me to get into that conversation in the future of how to empower your personal brand, put personal brand in the comments, and I pray I can get back to it. But outside of that, you are looking at fulfilling, or you get to you're picking up trash and you're meeting people, shaking hands, passing out business cards if you have them, because usually there's other organizations or people at these activities picking up trash that you can connect with as well to build a deeper rooted presence in the community. And then the other part was making sure that you commit to having someone from their team, their youth, commit to a half a day to get work experience in the office. You want to capture those pictures, capture that video, get some good testimonials, and there you have organic, impactful activity of community engagement. And those things will be great for digital marketing online. And as those type of strategies continue to go out and be promoted, and the more you do that with organizations or even with the same organization, just stay consistent, you're going to start building that trust within that organization. I don't know how long that's going to take, because that's based on how long you all engage. The more you engage meaningfully, the quicker it's going to be. But either way it goes, whatever you commit to, you want to make sure that you do it. And if you cannot do it, you want to reach out to those individuals or groups as soon as possible and say, hey, I can't do it. I do apologize. A great terminology or words that I've been using over my professional career is unforeseen circumstances. So due to unforeseen, hey, I was going to come down and pick up this trash, but due to some unseen circumstances, you could say it's personal or with the business if you want to throw a little more in there, I'm not going to be able to do it. So sorry, but we have every intention on coming next time, next month or whatever. That's okay. Stuff happens. But that's how you build trust. And a lot of these tips that I'm giving are also beneficial in your personal relationships and even dating for the men out there. And so what does that look like? You got to start to first get people to know, like, and trust you. Trust comes from building a working relationship, especially with those that are work focused. Okay. Meaning, well, I see you want to work with us. We're the nonprofit, but it sounds good. In a few weeks or months, you're going to be gone. So sometimes people have to be shown that you are serious. And that's why I'm saying, ask, what does a working relationship look like to you? Commit to the things that you can do, and actually complete the things that you can do, that you say you were going to do. Or if you cannot, you want to reach out to those individuals or groups and let them know, hey, I'm not able to do it. And that's understandable. Questions, leave them in the comments for me. Questions, concerns. So you got to make sure you're putting in work. You got to make sure you're putting in work. And what I mean by that, I'm going to shout out Coach Kevin Walker real quick out in the Nashville, Tennessee area, international recognized combat coach, and MMA, MMA, kickboxing, grappling and strike at the minimum, wrestling as well at the minimum. And I've been working with Coach Walker for almost 10 years. And he has helped me to build a great working relationship with USA Kickboxing, the United States of America's national kickboxing team, where I had an opportunity to assist with promoting 3 national championships in Nashville, Tennessee, where I think it was like over 200 fighters, 500 coaches came down to Nashville and competed to be the champion in their division, in their weight class in the United States, and have an opportunity to make the national kickboxing team. And so, and the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, maybe all 3, but the last 2 years, I was the ceremony, what do you call it? Person that gave the introduction. Excuse my ignorance on that. I gave the introduction to the opening of the championships in the middle of the ring with all of the with Coach Walker, of course, in the ring. Omari the Body Snatcher Boyd, the first American kickboxer to medal in a World Games. Omari the Body Snatcher Boyd became a professional kickboxer through Glory. He was in the ring, as well as the USA Kickboxing Administration, the president, the chair people, or the board members, and to include the rest of the administration and other dignitaries. And so I'm giving the welcome, not only to the people in the arena, but also live streaming. You know, how do you put yourself in that position where you work with someone and build a relationship? Coach Walker and I met on at a political event, something totally separate. We got to know one another, built a work relationship. He gave me a shot to help promote a international fight night between USA and Canada for kickboxing at Tennessee State University. I assisted with fundraising, ticket sales, media relations, government relations at the minimum, to include funding, and did a pretty decent job to where Coach allowed me to stay close to him. And there were several small projects that I put sweat equity in, and Coach allowed me to connect with various the USA kickboxing team, mixed martial arts. I was sitting VIP and backstage at MMA fights. I was going to Atlanta and other areas to create new fight night opportunities, and it was all because of trust. And I'll say Coach Walker it does not play. His time is very sensitive, and so you have to really be able to build and maintain trust and fulfill expectations. If you're married, I'm going to throw it out there too. If you're married, it's the same thing. People don't have time for games. People don't have time for games, and if you're not communicative, if you're not able to fulfill expectations, I'm not sure what to expect. You know what to expect as far as return, because people's times are valuable, and everybody wants to feel appreciated. These are all ideas as far as trust. You know what I mean? You got to build that trust, and so there are steps to that. If you hadn't had an opportunity, put in the comments relationship building, and I'll send you my free 40-minute webinar on how to build professional relationships from scratch for how to build relationships from scratch for your professional needs. And I'll send you a free 5-step checklist as well of how to build relationships from scratch for your professional needs. As if you don't know how to talk to people, you're an introvert, and you know you need to get out there and start building relationships to build that influence and to be that authority for yourself or your brand. Put in the comments, relationship building. I'll send you the link for the free 40-minute webinar. It might be up to 60 minutes, but it's something that you would need to really take yourself to the next level. And again, I started with Coach Walker on a political activity and ended up, I mean, at respect for the coach, and this is what it's about, but Coach ended up calling me, hey, Donovan, I can't be here. Can you go down and do this? So now I'm with the Sports Authority. I'm meeting with lobbyists. I'm a private high-end restaurants with figures, and then I became the ambassador, and all that built that authority. So let's continue to get into it. So you got to get people to know, like, and trust you. So, or first, you got to get people to trust you. And if you can remember what I said, all that was indirectly done through sweat equity. Sweat equity meaning building and putting in the work to build those relationships. And sweat equity does not necessarily have to be you. It could be you providing a skilled ambassador or a skilled teammate of yours that can go out there and get things done. So if you're scaling and you might say, okay, well, what does the work relationship look like? Okay, then the group says we need X, Y, Z. Great. I'm going to see if I'm going to have such and such come down and provide that. And you and I will continue to connect once a month or bi-weekly because I'm traveling or I'm doing this and that. And people understand that. They're just looking for resources. So you don't have to necessarily be the one to have to put the sweat equity in, but the sweat equity is really what drives that action and builds that trust. And you also got to focus on putting sweat equity into networking. So you're finding out what a working relationship looks like with the individual so you can actually fulfill, to build that trust, to get them to like you because they already know you. But then you're also focusing on networking as a sweat equity. Networking is important because we're going to talk about that shortly, because that's when we're starting to get into positioning. So you could become an authority by getting people to trust you, as well as over time, you see that trust that I had with Coach Walker went from small projects to where Coach trusted me on the national stage with the president of USA Kickboxing to be at meetings and get things done, take notes and be an ambassador. And I was able to make something out of that. And ultimately, that came from sweat equity, as well as, like I'm constantly going to say, networking. getting out there and meeting more people. And the point of what I was saying with Coach Walker was when I started at this particular point with Coach Walker, and we're at this particular point, you cannot tell me that I'm not seen as authority in that position, not only externally, but also internally. And the reason why is because even with USA Kickboxing, respectfully, people may come and go. But the longer I'm there with Coach Walker and those that come in, they're new. They don't know what's going on. And they just know that I'm working with XYZ, and they may be hearing I'm doing a great job. And you can see the respect being put on as an authority when you're able to fulfill those working relationships. So networking is huge. We got to keep in mind when people find out. Yeah. So for example, when people find out, when it comes back to that authority piece and networking, even with networking, people find out you know their contacts, and their contacts come to you saying, "Oh yeah, that person is the truth," or the people feel you know the contacts that they can't reach. That's how you're seen or you're put in a position of authority. So, for example, someone you don't know, you know, you're at a networking event and they just see you as some Joe Schmo or whatever, and you guys connect, talk a little bit, and then you guys, you know, separate, and he goes to that side of the room, and your name gets mentioned when you're on when they're on that side of the room. My name gets mentioned. Oh, and they hear this positive stuff. Then they go to the other side of the room, and my name gets mentioned, and they may know the people, and they respect them or think influentially about their perspective, and they hear my name get mentioned, and there's positive reviews. That individual may come back to look at me a different way because I'm within their network and I'm doing a great job and I have the respect or the authority, or they may be, you know, walking around networking and finding out that I know all these people. So now they want to come to me and say, hey, not a negative way or anything, but now everything makes sense. You come to me and say, hey, you know, then you talk about your need or ask or want or whatever have you. So ultimately, that's how you position yourself as an authority. You're constantly networking, constantly putting in sweat equity for people to know that you're connected, and those positive brands or those positive reviews can gravitate to you. And so the last thing I'm going to leave you with, so we got trust, we got networking and sweat equity. We're going to talk about positioning. And positioning is probably the easiest, yet the most challenging when it comes to you being seen as an authority and having influence in your industry. Because positioning takes time and it may take effort, but you work hard and you work smart and not hard. And what I mean by that is always looking down the road and being a step ahead of the game to be where the action is going to be. And what I mean by that is an example, you're playing basketball, the shot goes up. Instead of you looking at the ball and running around, you want to go to an area, if you're using IQ or intelligence, you want to go to an area where the ball may end up going and establishing your position, being firm and founded in where you are. And once the ball comes your way and you're in the right position and someone may try to get the ball based on your positioning, there might be a violation on the person trying to get the ball because you are in a position where they put body contact on you that took you out of position and it kept you from getting the ball, and that's called a foul. And so positioning is really about making sure you're a step ahead of the game. And the more experienced you become, the more you're used to doing things and being in those type of flows and actions, you're going to be able to become better understood and overstood of positioning and how it works. And you're going to find yourself in those founded areas well in advance. And people are going to recognize, are going to end up looking and saying, damn, why is Donovan always there? Why is he always? It's because one, you know people, or two, you've done this so much that you are studying and learning and putting yourself in an area where the action is going to be, the position, the rebound. And so another thing to keep in mind is when people see you in position and they see you ready and locked in, that means that it shows people that you are in control. because you took time to get there, to prepare, and you're locked in your set to get that opportunity. It shows people that you are in control, you know what you're doing, your experience, and that can come off as authority. It also is an indirect reminder to let you know that because you're in position and you are where the action is, directly or indirectly or intentionally or unintentionally, people will be coming after your position. People will be coming after your position. So once you are in position and you're seen as that authority because you are a step ahead of the game, getting experience, learning and applying trends, if you will. I don't want to lose my train of thought. After doing all that, people are you got to consistently do that because people are going to want to be in your position. There's only one position point. And so if you're 5 centimeters to the right or 5 centimeters to the left, you may not be in the best position. The position that is probably the best is probably the position that you're in. And that's why you are authority. So it's important for you to focus on maintaining that position. So what got you that position, you have to consistently continue to do that, which is sweat equity, get people to trust you, and to make sure you are networking and getting those positive reviews at the minimum, getting that foundation. That's what's going to continue to maintain your position. And people will want to go after your position for a number of different reasons. But you don't want to be fearful of that. Everyone has an opportunity to do what they need to do, and we pray everything's integral. And what I mean by that is if you focus on positioning, not on fear, but to make sure you are consistent in your flow and who you are in your personal professional endeavors, you're going to want to be in position. It's like self-development. It's like personal growth. It's like professional growth. Positioning is growth, if you will. So you're going to want to position yourself because it's going to be advantageous for you. It's going to continue to get you to where you're going to be. And so let's see what I have here on my notes. So we'll leave you with that. I don't want to take too much of your time. Let me know what you think about what I shared in regards to what did I share? Bad joke. In regards to trust building, in regards to sweat equity and networking, as well as positioning. These are just 3 tips for us to keep in mind to be seen as a lasting influencer and someone of impact in our industry, in any industry. These are things you can do. Hey, if you hadn't had a chance, make sure you visit my website, www.ldhadvising.com, to find out more about what I do in regards to helping you empower yourself, empower your brand, and be the best person and brand you can be. That's the bottom line. Click on the site. There's also an opportunity for you to take a free advising assessment in which it's a form or questionnaire that you complete where I find out where you are and basically want to find out where you want to be. And I create a assessment and a guide on how to do that. If you want me to create a pre-recorded video explaining the assessment that I provided as feedback, I can do that for a small fee. And of course, on my website, there are opportunities for you to schedule an advising session with me for up to an hour so that we can help you get on track, provide you with more insight, access, and resources. Thank you for clicking the links to donate monetarily in the amount you felt this message was worth to you so we can keep this going. Visit the site. And yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comments or send me a message directly. Thank you all for checking this video out, and I will see you in the next one. Congratulations in advance for your continued success as well. Peace.